This is a flag for my father's funeral. Both of my parents were veterans who cherished our country, and I grew up learning about the U.S. Declaration of Independence values of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. But when I was a civil rights lawyer and political scientist living in Germany during the COVID pandemic, I observed the way that people were willing to collectively stay inside in Germany and much of Europe and much of the rest of the world to protect our elders and disabled people. And the contrast in the US with people often resisting even the most minor infringements of freedom of wearing masks in crowds. And that helps me reflect as I work in comparative policy on the ways that our social policies have evolved and our conceptions of freedom have evolved differently in the US versus many other places in the world. And I see that as a challenge with our pursuit of life, a good life, and pursuit of happiness for all of us. Because our idea of freedom has become a freedom against rather than a freedom together. And with a freedom against attitude, it's not wanting any infringement on your own personal liberty from the government, from responsibility to others. And to really achieve freedom for all of us, not just the most powerful who wrote our Constitution and Declaration of Independence, but freedom for me to identify as non-binary transgender, freedom for reproductive health care, while other people have freedom to religion. We need to recognize that we have to have a collective sense of unity, and that we as a young country have the benefit of being able to learn from other countries. And so with that, I would like to argue and share some of my perspective as a lawyer working between the US and EU on comparative policy and as a legislative drafter, to think about the things that we could learn at this inflection point for us as a country about how to really achieve a different sense of freedom that allows for more liberty, and learn from other countries. Things like the fact that many other countries revisit their constitutions every 15 or 30 years. That we also could learn with the idea of focusing on our commonalities rather than our differences. We could learn that we could heal our wounds of racism, xenophobia, and classism with truth-telling about immigrants, and that people on welfare benefits aren't stealing from us, that there's not a zero sum of other people's rights versus my rights, and that there's enough resources to go around in the richest country in the world. I hope that we can start to identify as a community at a local level rather than as individual families. And with that, create more policies of mutual social support that value responsibility to one another, and over generations bring that into consciousness as a value in the US. We can take our steps toward mutual aid and empathy to get there, and we can learn that our country is an amazing country worth the effort to achieve these ideals, and this time, those ideals for all of us.